Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. You see in the background, this is all my mess. I've moved into a much larger house. I was living in a tiny little one-bedroom house. Moved to a much larger, better house with the dogs and everything, better situation. And the video that I'm fixing to show, I made it like probably over a month ago. I don't even remember. Since I have a better place, more room, I'm going to use this as a fresh start for my channel. I'm going to like do a do-over on my channel, so I'll be doing more things, more videos. I'm a little bit more, I guess, I feel more comfortable in this house. It's much better. It's a much better house. I'm just very happy that I finally got to move into a better house. Okay, and this is going to be a video explaining about my car wreck. And then the next videos I'll pick up just doing more things. I want to do some cooking videos, and I don't really know. I mean, I'm not quite sure what all I'm going to do, but this is just a fresh start for my channel, because my channel has been slowly, I don't know, I've neglected it because of my situation that I was in, and I had a lot of things going on. But my housing situation is 10 times better. But I gotta clean up this mess today. Alright, watch the video. Thanks. Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. I haven't made a video for quite a while. I'm really tired, really exhausted. I woke up this morning just exhausted. You can tell I'm not in my vehicle. I got rid of the truck a while back, and I had bought a 2018 Ford Edge. It was like a really great, it was just beautiful car that just one of the best cars I've ever had. Actually the best car I've ever had. Wasn't brand new, but to me it was new. And it had everything on it, completely loaded, backup camera, the sensors, heated seats, just everything, tinted windows. I no longer have that car because I was involved in a wreck, and which was not my fault, and it totaled the car. So I don't have my car that I usually make. I don't have a vehicle to make my videos in. And this happened October 20th, I believe. Yeah, October 20th. And it took about 7 weeks for the insurance to get everything finalized, which I think is excessively long to me. Even though I wasn't hurt, it still damaged the car, totaled it completely out. And now I'm actually trying to get rides, and my sister's been taking me to work, but it's really a strain on her because she works 12-hour shifts, and she has to pick me up from my job early, and sometimes I'm late to work, which my boss is really understanding. So I'm very lucky to have that kind of support at my job. But a lot of it is because of, well, I work in nonprofit, and after what happened with the USAID situation, it completely devastated the humanitarian aid that we give. All of our contracts were canceled. We got no work, and this is a nonprofit. We are sustained by donations from the community, and it put so many people out of work. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people. It affected so many industries. The support we get from box making, or the box makers, the cardboard boxes, the bags, the plastic wrap, we use, I don't know how much, so much product to put our product out, and it affected those industries. And the trucking, and I work for a very large organization, and we lost like 90% of our contracts. So I don't know how much longer that job is going to last. we normally would be sending food to every disaster. You know, we service all the large organizations, Red Cross, just all kinds of humanitarian aid, not just internationally, domestically. And we service a lot of food banks. We don't do that anymore. I think I'm going to make a short showing the racks and the pallets, how empty they've been. And I pretty much don't do hardly anything at work. And that's why I'm worried about the job not lasting much longer. And I've worked there for almost 4 years. Best, most fulfilling job I've ever had in my life. When you're working for a purpose, for helping other people, doing good things, it means a lot more to you than working for a company that's just reaping profits. You know, just being... my big dude is in here, big Rottweiler. I'm making this video in my back corner of my kitchen. Yes, there is a electrical panel, and I don't know why they didn't put the cover on it. And yeah, that wall is pretty dirty from the Rottweilers. I need to clean it. And so this is a temporary situation that I'm doing right now. Come on, come outside. Go, go, go. Oh. And this little corner, there's a window next to it. It's got some great natural light, but it's just not aesthetically pleasing. It's just, I don't even want to show it. It's got dog prints everywhere, and I need to dust it. It's in the very back corner, right by the back door. And it's an old creaky house, and it's got the dust here. I live in the panhandle area, the lower panhandle area of Texas, so dust is just the most prevalent thing around here. And so that's what's been going on. That's why I haven't made any videos for a while. And I'm just really discouraged because I had made a video about possibly going into early retirement, taking early retirement, which I may probably have to do that. Maybe in a month or two, I may have to quit my job. I don't know. Because I work in a larger city, and I live in a small town about 10 or 12, a little over, between 12. I don't know. The city's encroaching on down the highway towards this little town. And maybe in 20 years it might gobble this little town up. I don't know. But, and then I have to get on the highway and drive. I guess it's, actually one of my friends measured it. I thought it was about 23 or 24 miles, but I think it was 18 or 19 miles. So it's not as far as I thought, but it's a round trip. It's like, I guess, close to 40 miles a day. And then if I go anywhere, which I can't do now, I have to get rides. And it's just, if that's ever happened to anybody, then you know what it's like to be without a car. It's a pain in the ass. And I rode a bike for about almost 4 years before I got my truck. And I had to walk, ride bike, and ask for rides. And I hate doing that. I hate doing that worse than anything in the world. And my sister's vehicle has just now started having some issues. And she's driving a long way to pick me up and take me to my job. Come and pick me up. I work 4 10-hour days. She works a 12-hour staggered type of shift. Not really staggered, I don't know what you call it. Just, she works different, like 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 2 off, a weird schedule. Ugh, this dog. Go outside, baby, please. So I may possibly be retiring, but actually, I'm not going to I'm not going to consider retiring. I'm going to be able to get some of my retirement money on my retirement account, but it's not a lot. It won't sustain me for the whole year. So I'll probably have to get a part-time job or another job that is closer by. And so I don't know. This wreck that I had, this woman ran into me going at a very high rate of speed. She ran through a yield sign, didn't yield the right way, completely T-boned me, and just completely, I mean, it was just, I thought I ran over somebody. I thought I was the one that ran over somebody. And it happened in just a split second. I just had no idea that I actually didn't know I got hit by a car. I didn't realize I got hit by a car until I heard somebody screaming, and I looked in my rearview mirror and there was a car behind me in the intersection. And she plowed through me and just pushed me past the intersection. It did a lot of damage to my car. It damaged the whole driver's side and the wheel, the front wheel, and there's some suspension issues, and the alignment was all thrown off. There was a lot of work that needed to be done under the front tire area, and so the company totaled it out. Mainly, I think the mechanical issues pushed it over the edge. They probably could have done the body work, but it ended up totaling the car. So the car was already taken, and thank goodness I had insurance. She did not have insurance. My gap insurance, thank goodness, it paid for all the loan, paid for everything, but I was left with nothing, and can't get around, can't do what I want, don't have independence or freedom, and it's very hard trying to get to my job. And I paid on that car for a little over a year. I put almost $10,000 into it with the payments and the insurance and the gas. And it was like a 6-year loan. And I put my retirement plans around that car. And I don't know why I'm making that electrical box the center of this video. Just keep scooting to the side. But I put my retirement plans all around that car because it was a very expensive car, and it had high interest, but my credit wasn't that good, and they gave me that car with no down payment, and it was beautiful. It was perfect, ran perfect, everything was great on that car. But I've thought about it, and I really don't want to get another huge loan because I'm trying to retire early, and I thought I was going to work another year or two and then retire, but now I may be retiring earlier or having to quit this job and, like I say, get another smaller job for a short period of time, maybe up to a year, because I can't get my Social Security until January 2027. So actually my first check would be in February of 2027, and my arm is just getting tired. I guess that's why I keep moving the camera around to the electrical. I don't know what I'm doing. But I was just so upset, so frustrated with this whole situation. So I may have to sue her in court. I won't get anything back for the car because the insurance paid for it all. But for me losing my job, for me having to pay for rides, do this, go through all this, I don't know what I can get. But the reason I want to sue her is because she got no consequences. They didn't give her a ticket. She ran through the yield sign, didn't yield the right way. She even tried to blame it on me. She tried to tell the cop that something like I could barely hear her. Something like I think she tried to allude to me speeding, or we both accused each other of not having our lights on, but that was because she was going so fast. When I was coming up to the intersection, I went through an intersection that had 2 dips, one dip on one side and then on the other side of the intersection. And it was 2 residential streets. It was in a residential area, just a regular residential area, 2 lanes, one car's going one way, unmarked, no center stripe or anything like that. Just not a real small road, but just a regular residential intersection. And she was going so fast that when I was coming up to the intersection, I saw no lights, nothing. I went through the first dip, and I was in the middle of the intersection, and she just slammed into me. And it was so fast, I didn't even turn my head. That's how quick it happened. And it was like, for a moment there, I was like, it felt like the streets were blowing up or something. I don't know, like something, it kind of lifted my car up a little bit, a few feet off the air, in the air, and just threw me down the road. And I rolled to a stop by the curb of this house, and she's lucky that she didn't kill herself, and she had 2 kids in the car. And she jumped out immediately, started screaming, and ran around the car. It was like very theatrical the way I saw it. And I got out and I was going to approach her and see if she was okay. And she started pulling these kids out of the car. And she was screaming super loud and like bloody murder, blood-curdling scream. And then she stopped, and then she went to her car to get her phone, and she started talking, very low, kind of real quiet, like just instantly like that, from screaming to talking like that. And I was like, that seems kind of weird. And so I turned around and got my cell phone. I called the cops, and the cops came within, I'd say probably within a minute they were there, because the town I live in is so tiny, and like, I don't know how many cars, 4 or 5 cars showed up, and a huge fire truck. And amazingly, I didn't get hurt, but I could have really hurt myself. I mean, she could have hurt me, because I do have migraines all the time, and I have a little bit of a neck issue in my back, my lower back. I didn't really injure it as much as, well, I kind of did. There's some other little things that happened a long time ago, but I never got treatment or anything like that. So I've just lived with it. And then I've been working on cement floors for over 40 years. And that really compacts your back when you're standing on cement floors. I've maybe have 1 or 2 short-term jobs where I got to sit down like that. I do get to sit down now at my job because we don't have any work. But that's pretty much why I haven't done any videos. But I'm going to try to start doing some more. And I'm going to put a picture of my car in here. And, well, thank you all. And y'all have a good day. Oh, and then there's the small town politics. If you've ever lived in a small town, our police department is very tiny. There's not a lot of crime here. There's mostly wrecks and, I don't know, maybe some shoplifting, or the police constantly stop cars constantly here. And they will stop you for any little thing. So I was coming from the truck stop, and it was late at night, and I saw this car behind me when I turned down this one road. It was a really long road, and I was probably a couple of blocks down the road, and this car, it looked like I made a left-hand turn onto the road, and the car was coming the opposite direction. They turned behind me, and they speeded up kind of. At the speed limit was like 35. I was going 30, and as soon as I saw the headlights, I was like, that's a cop. I know that's a cop SUV. And I couldn't see the SUV, but I knew just by the headlights I could tell it was a cop. And so I speeded up to 35, the speed limit, didn't go over it, and he speeded up to get behind me. He probably had to go about 40 miles an hour to get up to me. And he followed me all the way down about another 2 blocks. This is a really long road, and straight, long road. And I stopped at the stop sign, and I put my blinker on about 2 houses away from the stop sign. I looked really good, made sure he saw that I was stopped, complete stop. And then I turned, made my right-hand turn, and he immediately flipped his lights and pulled me over right on the side of the road right there, right around from the corner. And he had the nerve to ask me, you know why I stopped you, and or his response, the nerve that he had in telling me his response was, because you didn't put your blinker on 100 yards from the stop sign. And I made sure that I put my blinker on, and it was like about the 2 houses from the stop sign. And I just looked at him like, I was continuing to look at him, really uncomfortable for about a good 5 or 8 seconds, 10 seconds, until he said something. He goes, well, I don't even remember what I said, but I was like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? And it was the same cop that wrote out the police report. And I told him, you know, they're taking this car. When she totaled my car, it was drivable up into a point. I could drive it somewhat, but it was really kind of dangerous because the wheel was, it wasn't wobbly. Didn't have any wobble at all. My truck, my old truck, that thing was probably a death trap. Kind of had a little bit of a wobble to it, but one of the main reasons why I got another car. And it messed up the alignment really bad, and I only drove it for maybe about 3 weeks, and then I had to park it. And that same guy who did not give her a ticket, and I told him, I'm going to have to sue her. They're taking my car, you know. And she didn't get a ticket. You didn't give her a ticket for running the yield sign. And he said, well, something about the ring camera. And I said, I know. On the ring camera, it shows that I put on my brakes when I went through the dip. I was going very slow in the middle of the intersection. She flew through the intersection at a high rate of speed. She's probably going about 50 or 60 miles an hour, if not more, and just completely crashed into me. And I was saying, y'all didn't give her a ticket. And I had already called down to the police station before complaining about she didn't get a ticket. And she didn't get a ticket for no insurance. And he was trying to just get rid of me after that point because he had another officer with him. I don't know if he was training somebody or what. They didn't say anything. They were just standing there watching, or if that was a superior officer with him. But he was like trying to dismiss me. And I was just outright just complaining about the fact that she got no tickets. There's no consequence to show. And there's a very small paragraph on the accident report. It doesn't include all the facts. Or he said something to the fact of, or that they're not there to lay down the judgment. That's for the judge to do. And I said, yeah, but that is a fact of the case. And it showed up very clearly on that ring door camera. And I didn't see the ring door camera, but I know it because I was there. And she just, I think she tried to tell them that she stopped at the yield sign, because at the scene of the crash, one of the officers asked me, do you think that she stopped at that stop sign? I said, absolutely not. She just, look at my car coming from a complete stop to the middle of an intersection, maybe like 15 feet, is not going to do that kind of damage. That would be just like maybe a small dent or something. And the damage to my car is like across both doors, and it hit the rear tire, kind of messed up the hubcap on that, and it really messed up the front wheel and the front quarter panel. So the same cop that wrote out the police report that didn't want to give her a ticket, I think there's like some kind of, I don't know, they must know each other or something, friends of family or something like that, because not getting any kind of ticket for not yielding the right of way. And when I was there, she was trying to tell one of the cops something that she thought it was my fault, and he immediately corrected her. And he didn't say, no, it's your fault, but, you know, making sure he didn't put blame on her. But he did tell her, no, ma'am, she had the right of way, and you did not yield the right of way to her. He said that very clearly and kind of loudly too. So there's a lot of small town politics in this, and I'm going to bring that up to the judge also. So.